So in this video, we're going to be solving some radical equations. Now, radical equations are equations that contain variables within the radicand. So for example, let's say we have an equation like this, where we have a square root, a single square root, and a variable x in the radicand here that we need to solve for. Now, the first thing we need to do is isolate our radical on one side of the equation, and everything else, our -2 here, we place on the right-hand side. So that's the first thing we need to do. So we have 3x minus 1 is equal to 2. So in order to get rid of this square root here, this radical, we need to square both sides of the equation. Now, if this root was a cube root, for example, we would need to cube root both sides of the equation. And if it was a fourth root, we'd need to raise both sides of the equation by 4. But we're going to focus on square roots for this video. So let's raise both sides of the equation by 2. And doing this will eliminate this root here. So we end up with 3x minus 1 is equal to 4. And all we need to do now is isolate our x term here and make it the subject of this formula. So we add both sides by 1. So we get 3x is equal to 4 plus 1. And our value of x is equal to 5 divided by 3. 5 over 3. But we're not actually finished here. What we need to do with radical equations, with these types of equations here, is confirm our solution by substituting our x value here back into the original equation. And we need to do this because with certain radical equations, it's not unusual to get extraneous solutions. And I'll explain what extraneous solutions are as we progress through the lesson. So I'm going to insert 5 over 3 into our original expression here and see if it equals 0. So we have 3 multiplied by 5 over 3 minus 1 minus 2, and that should equal 0. So 5 divided by 3 multiplied by 3 minus 1 is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2, and when we minus 2 we get a value of 0. So our value of 5 over 3 is a solution to this radical expression. What about this radical equation, where we have the square root of 15 minus 2x is equal to x? What's the first thing we do in this situation? Well, we've only got one radical here, and this radical is isolated on the left-hand side, so we don't need to move any terms onto the right-hand side. So we can proceed to square both sides because we've got a square root here. So let's do that. So 15 minus 2x, we square this root, and we also square the x on the right-hand side. Squaring eliminates the root here, leaving us with 15 minus 2x, and we've got x squared here. Now we've got a quadratic equation here. We can rearrange this so that all of the terms are on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side we're left with a 0. So let's keep our x squared positive. Let's bring our 2x over to this side, so plus 2x, and minus both sides by 15. So minus 15, and that equals 0. Now, can we factor this quadratic equation? We can find out whether we can factor this by seeing whether the coefficients b squared, so 2 squared minus 4ac, and a is 1 here and c is negative 15. We can see if this is a perfect square, then we can factor this quadratic. So b squared, 2, so 2 squared is 4 minus 4 times 1 times minus 15, and we get 15 negative times 4 negative 60 plus 4 is 64, and when we root that we get 8. So because we've got a whole number here, that means we can factor this quadratic. So we need two numbers that multiply to give us negative 15, but add to give us a positive 2. So we could have a negative 3 multiplied by positive 5. That gives us a negative 15 when they're multiplied together. But when we add them, negative 3 plus 5, that equals a positive 2. So 3 and 5 are our factors here. So we have x minus 3, x plus 5 is equal to 0. And we can solve this using the zero product property, and that leaves us with x is equal to positive 3 and x is equal to negative 5. But we still need to confirm these solutions to see whether there's any extraneous solutions in this equation here. So our proposed solutions are negative 5 and positive 3. But we need to check these solutions by substituting them back into the original equation up here to see whether we've got any extraneous solutions. So let's first start with negative 5. So we have negative 2 multiplied by negative 5, which is positive 10, and this gives us positive 25, the square root of positive 25, but that's not equal to negative 5. So our negative 5 here is an extraneous solution. So let's test with positive 3. So the square root of 15 minus 6, does that equal 3? So we got 15 minus 6, which is 9. The square root of 9 does in fact equal 3. So 3 here is the only solution to this radical equation. Our negative 5 is an extraneous solution because it does not satisfy the original equation. Let's try another example. Now in this example, we have two radicals on the left-hand side here. Now in this situation, we take a slightly different approach to solve this type of equation. What we need to do is choose one of these radicals here and only isolate one of these at a time. So let's first isolate this radical here and move this radical on the right-hand side of the equation. So we're left with 2x plus 3 is equal to 4 minus the square root of x minus 2. So again, because we're working with square roots here, to eliminate this radical, we need to square both sides of the equation. So let's do that. So if I square this radical here and square both of these terms here, I can eliminate this radical, leaving us with 2x plus 3. But on this side of the equation, we can use the perfect square formula to expand the right-hand side here. And the perfect square formula is a minus b all squared is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, where in this case 4 is equal to a and b is our square root of x minus 2. So we have 4 squared, which is 16, minus 2a, which is 4, multiplied by b, which is the square root of x minus 2, plus b squared. And when we square a square root, we're left with the radicand, x minus 2. So we can tidy up this right-hand side of the equation. And what we want to do is to move all the terms here, apart from this square root, onto the left-hand side. So let's tidy this up first. So we've got 16 minus 8, the square root of x minus 2, plus x minus 2. So 16 minus 2 is 14, and we minus 14 from both sides of the equation. So we've got 2x plus 3 minus 14. We've got a positive x on this side of the equation. So if we minus both sides of the equation by an x, we have 2x minus x, which is equal to x. And we're left with minus 8, the square root of x minus 2. And finally, on the left-hand side, we have x minus 11, because 3 minus 14 is minus 11, is equal to minus 8, the square root of x minus 2. Now, we have our radicand isolated on one side of the equation. And because this is a square root, all we need to do is square both sides now. So that leaves us with, on the left-hand side, x squared minus 22x plus 121. And on the right-hand side, we have 64x minus 2. Now we're left again with a quadratic equation, and we can tidy up and we can shift all these terms onto the left-hand side. So we have x squared, that doesn't change. We've got minus 22x minus 64x, which equals minus 86x. We have positive 121 plus 128, because 64 minus 2 is a minus 128. So positive 249, and that equals 0. And all we need to do now is to factor this equation. So we need two numbers that multiply to give 249, but add together to give 86. So if we multiply negative 3 by negative 83, we get 3 negative multiplied by 83 negative, and that's 249, positive 249. And if we add these together, negative 3 plus negative 83, we get 3 negative plus 83 negative. We get negative 86. So our factors are x minus 3 and x minus 83. And if we use the zero product property again, we get x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 83. And the very last thing we need to do now is insert these solutions back into our original expression above, up here, to see whether we've got any extraneous solutions. So let's do that. So we've got the square root of 2 times 3 plus 3 plus the square root of 3 minus 2. Does that equal 4? Well, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 3 is 9, so we've got root 9, plus the square root of 1, and that does give us a value of 4, so 3 plus 1 is 4. So this is a solution. But what about 83? So the square root of 2 multiplied by 83 plus 3 plus the square root of 83 minus 2. Does that equal 4? So 83 times 2 is 166, plus 3 is 169, square root that, we've got 13. And 83 minus 2 is 81, so 81, square root that is 9. So we've got 13 plus 9 here. 13 plus 9. That equals 22. 22. And that is not equal to 4. So this solution here is an extraneous solution.